I'm ETA, and this is City Sundays, where in a singular Minecraft world I am building an entire city, one build at a time, 1 week at a time. City Sundays is streamed live to my Twitch weekly, 7 p.m. AEST on Sundays. Come hang out, it's a good time. Maybe you'll beat Milo for top chatter. Introductions aside, let's get to talking about this week's build. So, for the build, I decided on a cafe because every city has a lot of cafes. What's a city without a cafe? And I thought it would be a good starting point. I went with a dark oak and stone block palette, kinda. I don't really know how block palettes work, but it's fine. And I decided with the windows, I was going to put blue stained glass. I was going for like a homely yet city kind of vibe. And as you can see, I did not set it to always day, so I had to like manually set the day night cycle back to day while I was building. So chat got the lovely pleasure of watching me pause what I was doing to set it back to day. Then I started on the side and back walls, and I went for like a sort of downward slant because I didn't want it to be a complete like square slash rectangular build. I wanted it to have a little bit of character to it, so I added this slant. Um, and I thought it looked all good and fine until I went to start putting in the roof, and I realized that the very top part was only going to be 1 block wide. So I went and widened that by a block because, as it was, my build is only 8 blocks tall at its highest point, and considering I was putting in an upstairs, I wanted there to be as much room as possible up there, which was also why I went for slabs for the roof. And they worked really well, and looked a lot better than I thought they would, considering usually I build roofs with stairs. So this was kind of a nice change, to do it with slabs instead. So then I started to put in the upstairs, and I went for stone for the flooring, both on the top level and the lower level, because I like the idea of using the wood more sparsely, so it did feel more like a city build, but the wood felt like it was sort of tacked on to make it more homely, sort of that cafe, but it's a big corporation kind of vibe. And I decided on a spiral staircase. And I was going to put in some guardrails, but then I decided if you fall, you fall. And then I started doing in the floor with stone, and I left a small pathway from the front door in where I would put wood. Um, because I wanted like a little path in right to the counter, and you can say I'm putting in the counter. Um, and I finished filling in that top level after I put in the counter. For here I started putting in the rest of the counter, and I messed around with designs quite a bit for this. Um, I decided to put in like glass to try and be like the plastic barrier between you and whoever's serving you. But that didn't really work out. I ended up scrapping it. But I did keep in the lectern as like your pay area sort of thing. I also closed off the second part of the counter. I decided to make that a like back area of the shop. I put in a pot plant, like the pot, to be like a coffee cup. And then the trouble started. Oh boy, did I have trouble with these downlights. Um, the design I was going for needed like 4 blocks of space, and I just did not have that with the upstairs area. And I started trying out all these different designs, and it just wasn't looking how I wanted it to. And I started getting increasingly frustrated with it. I tried this like trapdoor design for the light, and it just didn't look how I thought a cafe's lights should look. Um, so I decided to cut my losses, and I took down the upstairs area. And that meant I was now able to start putting in these down lights, and I really like the design of these lights. I've got the same ones in my castle on Goddess MP, which are shameless plug, but that is the lore-driven server I'm working on with friends. Um, we're getting there with planning. And if you want to see how we're coming along with the building, I do build and prep streams on my Twitch pretty frequently, and I do talk a little bit about the characters and stuff. And I try not to give away spoilers, but it is getting increasingly hard when I just want to talk about my character all of the time. So yeah, with these downlights, I think I put in 6 in total. And I do really like the design of these. I feel like they fit in like a cafe environment. Um, and they're very simple to make. But it just took a bit placing them where I wanted them to be within the cafe. But I'm very happy with how that turned out. I also put in like a coffee size pricing board because usually when you go into cafes they have like the sizes on display and how much they cost, and I thought I can put that up as like a board instead because of how Minecraft is. I then went in to do around the back of the counter with some tripwire hooks to be like the coffee machine, and also cleaned up the general design of the counter. Then I started putting in some tables. It was a really simple design of just a couple of steps and an iron bar to support the trapdoor that was acting as the actual table. Now there's just a few seats in here, but it is meant to be a coffee shop. I also put some of the tables outside on the footpath. Now it was time for the final details. Using some andesite, smooth stone, and stone bricks, I started to chop up the stone a little bit, make it a little less bland, a little less one color, so then it would look a little bit nicer. And that took a little bit. I tried to place them like not too much of a pattern, and I did all around the back and the flooring as well. And then I came in with some buttons to add a bit of texture as well. And as you can see, I also got a very unwanted customer in that time. Um, but it was fine. It was all fine and dandy. I ended up beating him to death with my hands, and I don't think him or his friends will be back anytime soon. Well, definitely not him. He's dead now. Um, but I then put in the front doors, and for the final touch, I put up a sign stating the name of the coffee shop. This is the final build, completed in all of its glory. Um, it is called Riverside Cafe, as you can see. And the inside I think is quite nice. You see, there's the coffee board that I mentioned, and all of these are named, so it gives that illusion. And around the back here, you've got your little workers area, and you have your incredible cash register that is 100% a cash register. Um, don't doubt that. Don't question it. Please don't question it. And the down lights, which I think look very nice, as I've said about a million times. And yeah, that's the results of that build. It's pretty simple. Nothing too majorly technical going on here. But if you join me for the next City Sunday stream, I will be building a pop culture shop in that direction, right next door to this cafe. With a small space for a basement build, which I did mention on stream, but that is in the future. For now, that is the build. I'm ETA, and I hope you're having a good day/night, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. ETA, signing off.